Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard. It is, in fact, time for the sunrise safari on the largest safari vehicle in the world. And what a better way to start with some zebras on our open area. They have been here for a few days and they are just not leaving, which we are more than happy about. And oh, don't worry. The wildebeest is not too far away. We will show you him in a minute. He really loves those zebras. Good morning. My name is Lauren. Gert is with me on camera. And we've just had an update of dogs possibly crossing into Juma. So I am going to keep my radio on. Standing by.
Morning. My dad's crossing from the gate into Juma.
Copy. Are you guys following? Ah, there's the wildebeest.
I think Dennis is there. I'm going to stand by. I'm going to come before some cut line, but yeah. Make your way that side.
Copy. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we have been instructed, so let's do that. But it's not just me out and about today. It never is. This wildebeest makes me laugh so much. We do have Cedric, the other half of the Juma team. We have Trishala down in Madikwe. We have Tess in Amakala and Liam over in Pridelands today. So hopefully it is a wonderful drive. I would love to see some wild dogs, I really would, but it's probably going to be chaos to say the least. And it's live, so you will see all that chaos. But we are also interactive, so please do talk to us. Really, it gets very boring if you don't talk to us. So send in your comments, questions, ideas, discussions. You want to know about the hyena clan? Just ask. Just head over to the website, WildEarth.tv, and as long as you've registered, you can submit your questions and comments. Impala, guys, be careful. There are dogs coming from the west. I wish I could communicate with them. So, of course, we are going to put our foot down a little bit. But just a warning, if they sort of go northeast, then they'll cross out. They may not come our way, but we can at least try. And then after that, naturally, my plan is to go to the hyena den. I think you guys already knew that.
Darren.
Standing by. I don't know if he's calling Lauren or Darren.
Yeah, Lauren, I believe they're heading towards like Sandy Patch side.
Copy, I'm on virtual access. Need to make sure my coffee doesn't spill. Can I drive with the coffee like this? I love this car, but there is no place to hold your coffee. Okay, wish me good luck, everyone. I'm going to get going, but for now, let's take a look at the weather. Hello, good morning everyone. What a stunning way to start our morning at Madikwe Game Reserve. Can you see what I see besides the absolutely beautiful pink skies there? We have somebody feeding. Pop your head up. Almost time. Of course this would happen. Our giraffe is, there we go, almost. Oh, hello. Perfection. That is absolute perfection. I think I always love the sunrise drives when you're out in the bush. It is my favorite. I mean, the afternoon is wonderful too, but the sunrise drive is just something so special. And watching an African sunrise, it never ever gets old. Have an iconic animal in front of it as well. I mean, what more could you ask for? Hi everyone, it's me, Trishala. I've got Lloyd on camera this morning, and we are Azistam. And it's a little bit chilly, but I must say, I think it's going to get quite warm towards the afternoon. So it's going to get better, and I love the chill of the morning anyway, because there's just something about this morning drive. The chill in the air, the crispness, and the colors of the sky. And as you know, this is also a really, really good time to listen out to the sounds of the bush.
The air is nice and cold, so that means that sound is going to travel and carry a little bit better. So let's take a moment while we watch this giraffe. Oh, it's gorgeous. Let's take a moment and listen to the sounds. Maybe you'll pick up on some alarm calls. Maybe some birds will start coming alive and start advertising themselves. Let's take a moment. Good morning, Sir 50. It really does. It really does. Colors are so, so special. And what did you hear? I heard Cape Turtle calling. It's calling now. But I also heard some guinea fowl alarm calling. I can still hear it in the background. Distant though. Yesterday, late afternoon, it was around 5 p.m. We were in the area around the possible brown hyena den. Unfortunately, we had a few issues, so we couldn't share it with you. But there was a kudu alarm calling, and you know that that very strong alarm call, that bark-like sound, and in a valley, so it just echoed. It was so loud. And it's those kinds of sounds that we're hoping to hear this morning. And we're going to take I think we're going to take another few moments here while we listen to the bush and see if it gives us any clues, and obviously watch this giraffe. But I'm going to send you over to Cedric and Juma to say good morning.
Yeah, what a nice way to start this sunrise safari. Of course, we've got a beautiful grey heron that's sitting on a dead tree here at Gowrie Dam. Well, I am here at Gowrie Dam this morning because there were leopards mating around this area, exactly where I am now last night. But anyway, good morning everybody. My name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me on Rusty we've got Owen. So thanks for joining us. So I'm going to be on foot for a bit here this morning. I am going to be walking up and down this area. I think I might even grab Owen with me to go and just look around here. I'm sure those leopards are still in the vicinity. I know on dam cam last night from around about 7:30 they actually came down from Central Road onto exactly this spot here where they got to see them, and looked like they might have moved a little bit further towards the inflow of Gowrie Dam. So as I said, I'm going to be on foot a little bit this morning. I'm just going to try and see if we can find these leopards. It's become quite frustrating knowing that these leopards are here, and they've been mating for the last 3 days and no luck. So yes, while the morning is still young and all that, I might actually just start moving around in this vicinity to see if we are going to get any luck with those beautiful leopards. Anna Marie, yes, thank you. I'm also crossing my fingers for cat today. Some nice cats for this morning, so that's why I'm just gonna be off the vehicle for a little bit now. That's the only way we can find us if we have to. We have to do footwork. If we don't do footwork and walk into these blocks and that to see where their tracks go, then all of a sudden we will not be able to find these leopards. So yes, I'm hoping that we're going to get that opportunity. So I'm going to be staying at just right where I am now until I get that chance to start walking around here with Owen. And yeah, as I said, I don't want to miss these leopards this morning. It's been frustrating. That's all right. That's leopards. Leopards are very much elusive, and you know, if they don't want to be seen, they won't be seen. But my whole thing is, I like to know who is mating, which leopards are mating, because I don't know. It's just speculation. Once again, speculation. All right. Well, I'm going to start walking. I might disappear out of frame and all that, and disappear. But yeah, I'm going to have to start doing some tracking ASAP while the morning is young. Yeah, you can see it from here. We are at Gowrie Dam. We are at the dam with the dam cam. They're on the tree. The dam cam from where we are now, because we are parked behind a silver cluster leaf. But even if these leopards have gone north from Gowrie Dam into this big block, it's just going to be quite tough. So as I'll reiterate again, we are going to have to do some footwork here.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
Always torn on which road to take at this junction. Every time. So many good options. But I'll stick with my favorite. I'll be habitual. Oh, Shreya's think that comment's maybe a little bit old. The wild dogs have gone into purple circle. So I'm not looking for wild dogs anymore. But you probably said that a lot earlier, so yes. They would have been very, very awesome, but they gone. These are the old hyena dens, so I always just drive really slowly here, just in case. You never know if any of them are hanging out. They're also creatures of habit, just like me.
We are just trying to get us into a nice position so that we can see the sunrise. I think we found a kind of nice position. Just give us a moment. There's a little bit of a gap. How's that, Lloyd? Cool. Here we go. So it's brightened up quite significantly. But we're still waiting for that giant ball of gas to come popping out over the horizon there. Any moment now. If you look around, you can obviously see those clouds might obscure our view a little bit, but we're going to see that nice, very pink crimson ball almost rising. But we can already see that just above the clouds, the yellow and blue are starting to peek through. Hi Jules, thank you for joining us. And you say good morning to us and a good afternoon to you in New Zealand. You're wishing us a good bumble. Thank you very much, and thank you for jumping on board. I hope that we will all have a good bumble this morning. Sunrise Safari, such a winner. I think what I like most about the morning I told you about, the fact that there's the rising sun. Please excuse that sound. It's just beautiful satellite turning, trying to get us the best, quality, I suppose, to show all of you. But I was saying to you that I enjoy the crisp air, I enjoy the sunrise, but what I most love about the sunrise safari is the potential. So much to discover from last night. What could have happened overnight? Do we have tracks? It's all that potential that I just love. I've been keeping my head down, having a look at tracks, particularly in this area where the soil is a little bit more sandy. But nothing very interesting right now. Hi Heather, you'd like to know which animals are most active at this time? So this time of day, or animals that are active at this time of day, dawn and dusk, we call them crepuscular animals. And those are usually your predators. So predators like lions and leopards, of course they're going to be active overnight as well. But this time of day they're going to be kind of winding down. It's still part of that evening. At least temperature-wise, so that cool air and that temperature from the evening still exists right in the morning. But once the sun comes up, Once the sun comes up, you're going into diurnal animal territory. And really it all has to do with temperature and light. So once the temperature goes up and the amount of light goes up, then those crepuscular predators or crepuscular animals are going to start to just settle down. And that is kind of a very simplified version, because we all know that we've seen leopards active in the middle of the day, making kills in the middle of the day. So I'm speaking very generally, with the complete understanding that there are always exceptions, and there are little other things to consider as well. Whether it's, if it's an overcast day, good time for predators to be active during the day. And again, it's linked to temperature and to light. Now, this is a really good time for wild dogs. Before the sun pops out, but it's not dark, so it's a really good window. Hi, Maz. I love it when you call me Trishalaki. I think it's a very cute name. It is a gorgeous sunrise, and it's almost ready for us. I bet Marcel's sitting in the back there wondering why he didn't come up with the name Trishalaki. You should have, Marcel. Instead, Marcel, along with some other people at WildEarth, called me Three Sleeps. If you're wondering why, it's because it's Trishala. So it's like three shala, sleep. Oh, it's just about to pop up. But I'm going to send you over to Liam in Pridelands. He's also admiring a sunrise. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to see his and ours.
Thanks very much there, Trish, and a very warm good morning to one and all from the team here live on location in Eco Training's Pridelands. My name is Liam Burrow. I'm the naturalist here in the driver's seat this morning. The legendary BK Uhuru is the man behind the lens. Lovely. So starting our day off just right. Soaking up a bit of morning sun, a few sips of coffee, and starting to strategize our next move. We did actually kick our morning off with a nice breeding herd of elephants, but unfortunately we had no signal in that area, so we had to move on. But that's all good. Lots of other fish in the sea, so to speak. And yeah, it was quite a busy night around our Eco Training Pridelands camp. We had the roars of a male lion somewhere nearby. Lots of vocalizations for elephants. So there is high profile stuff out there. And as ever, we are very hopeful that today might be the day that we come across that Ezulwini elephant bull. Victor, as I say, I think probably my biggest hope at the moment would be a nice close encounter and perhaps a few photographic opportunities with that large Ezulwini bull, which, if those reports were accurate yesterday, and I think they were, is quite possible. He's around. It has been about 8 or 9 years since I crossed paths with that big guy. So, it would be so wonderful to see him again. But yeah, perhaps otherwise a bit of time spent with those Ngati lionesses and potentially even the 2 new males that I know have been around. But as ever, the key to having a good time on safari is keeping an open mind. So I'm very open to whatever comes along. It promises to be a wonderful stint. Alrighty, well I think with no further ado, let's crack on.
Do you love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room with 9 incredible new waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
Our sun, well, all of our sun, the same sun that we see on Juma and in Pridelands, the one that belongs to all of us, the one that is a big reason that we have so much life and diversity on this planet, perfectly positioned to give us the right amount of radiation, the right amount of heat and light. Just perfect. And it's come up now. So as you can see, we didn't move far. Well, we didn't move at all. We just sat here and waited. Always pays off to watch the sunrise. Always like to, when we sit and we watch, particularly these very permanent objects, whether they're celestial objects or even the geology of an area, it really makes you think on a bigger scale. You imagine all the animals, all the life on this planet that has watched this exact sun, doing this exact thing, watching the sun rise. Maybe for the aesthetic, but most likely for time, to think about temperature and light. It's so special. It connects all life on this planet for as long as it's ever existed. Earth Lover, hello Earth Lover. Thank you very much for those well wishes, wishing us that the rays of the sun carry us through so we may have a wonderful safari, a wonderful day. And I hope that it will. Well, I mean, after my speech, it's carried a lot more than just some good luck. Oh, jealous. Lauren has made her way to the hyena den. Fantastic. And she's spending time with the Juma clan. Please send them my love. And I'm going to head off.
Happy place. That is true. At the den we've got Intima, and then of course we've got little Junebug, whose life has just transformed for the better. And don't worry, June is round the corner. She's just sleeping heavily. So it's quite a busy den today. Junebug's very busy with the sticks and all sorts of things. This is actually a really good time to come to the hyena den. It is 7 in the morning. The light's nice, the temperature's nice, and of course they are nocturnal animals. So it really is a great time to catch the den active. But I did see suckle marks on Intima's mammary glands. Now, we already know from her behaviour that there is a cub or cubs, but it's always nice to get that evidence, and there are definitely suckle marks. I just can't wait till the day where we just get a view, even if it's the shortest little view, to solve that mystery before I go. 1 cub or 2. But I think when Intima comes and obviously calls the cubs, and they can recognise Mum's call and they can recognise Mum's scent, that's about all they know. I think sometimes when Intima plugs the den, Junebug gets stuck inside. And Junebug comes flying out when Intima moves. Deliciousness. When are you going to discover tires, Junebug? I think it will be soon. It's not your mommy. Nancy, when they get older, yes. At this age, it's quite unlikely. They really are den bound, and it's all they know. That's their world, that's their umveld. And they're very often scolded and told to go back to the den. So they're very they've learned the process that they need to be in this area. But if you look at the growth in little Junebug, you'll see he's changed. He really just wants to take in the world and learn about everything. He always tries to follow the clan. So as he gets older, he's going to try and follow them more and more. He's going to want to explore what is out there. So yes, they can wander, and of course that's the dangerous part. But I think it's pretty good that there are really young cubs or cub inside the den, because I think that's going to distract Junebug and make him want to stay around the den a lot more. So I think it's a really good thing that there are other cubs in there and that they're younger. Oh, cute. Kissies for Auntie Intima. I think she's trying to sleep, but never mind. And I'm still waiting for the day Ribbon comes, really, to greet her grandchild or children. And then I'll actually get to see her. It's not that she's avoiding the den, she's just maybe here when I'm not. I'm only here for very short windows of the day. We tried to get another angle of the Dane yesterday, but it's really not possible. So we're just going to have to work with this and hope that one day we see a little black bear come out. It's been an amazing journey, and really how lucky we are. I do just want to say a big thank you to Polly and Mr. Gucci. Really, the kindest people, and just passionate about wildlife, and therefore just very understanding that I might go crazy if I don't see my hyenas. Really, really awesome people, and I just wanted to say thank you to them. Now, guys, I just want to update you about a new thing WildEarth are doing called Fan of the Month. As you know, WildEarth really love your support and all your comments. We really do. All the nice ones, of course, not the bad ones. But from the month of August, we're actually going to start acknowledging our biggest fans. And one day every week during the live shows, we're going to pose a question to you, the viewers. Yes, to go and answer. So please stay tuned to all our live shows and social media for more information. Fan of the month. How exciting. I don't know how many hours I've sat at the Dane and just watched the little ones chew through all the plant matter and sticks and everything that is around the Dane. Look at those teeth though. They are not small. Isn't he just beautiful? He really reminds me of Novella. I think if you spend as much time as I do staring at hyenas' faces, you do really start to see resemblances and really start to pick out features of those who look alike. Okay, we're definitely going to sit here a little bit longer, but for now, over to Liam.
Superb. So a really nice low-felt scene this morning with a rather large group of giraffe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There must be about 10. 6 or 7 large ones, 3 or 4 little youngsters. Spending time in the Sabi Sands, we're not used to seeing large groups of giraffe like this. They do obviously occur there, but for whatever reason, especially in the Djuma area, we tend not to see many giraffe at all. So yeah, what a pleasure to see them like this. A quintessentially African scene. They are such bizarre looking mammals. There's just nothing else on earth quite like the giraffe. You've got to wonder what must have gone through the first Europeans' heads, the first explorers out here. How would you return to Europe in whatever, like the 1800s, and explain to people that you had seen a spotty camel-like horse thing standing 15 or 20 feet tall? People would have thought you'd be mentally ill. Let's come forward a little bit. Lisa, that's a very good question. Let me just get into position. I'll switch off there. So Lisa, thanks for that question. Giraffe do the vast majority of their communication visually. So it's to do with what they're doing with their head, the way they're holding their very white ears, a lot of cues about sort of their emotional state, their interest in reproduction, etc., come from the head. They also have the benefit of that enormously stretched neck, which gives them a fairly unbeatable perspective on this environment. So they see vast distances. Quite regularly you'll see a lone giraffe, especially a bull, sort of stood on his own, staring off into the distance, and sort of 2 or 3 ridge tops further down the road, you'll see another group of giraffe. So they spot each other from miles away. But again, keeping in mind these associations tend to be quite loose. We might see 10 or 12 together today, but only 1 or 2 tomorrow. They're very gregarious. They seem to like to be together, but they don't form permanent bonds. It's pretty fluid, just transitions. Shame, a big female in front of us seems to have a bit of a limp. I didn't see quite what was wrong there, but perhaps she's got an issue with one of her hooves or something. Chad, another super question this morning. So those ossicones are actually pretty well developed when the giraffe is born. It's one of the only animals on the planet born with a fully developed set of horns. But miraculously, and I'm sure much to the relief of the giraffe cow that's got to deliver, that's got to give birth to that calf, and the horns are not attached to the skull. So as that calf pushes its way through the birth canal, the horns just sort of bend out of the way. They fold against the calf's skull. It's only about a week or 2 weeks later that the ossicones, the horns, will actually stand erect and begin to attach to the skull. They're also initially made of cartilage, so the same stuff that we find in our ears and our nose, sort of rubbery stuff. It'll take a couple of months for them to begin to ossify, to turn to bone. Interesting stuff.
Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Tima, where are you going? I love sitting at the den, and it just reminds me of our purpose. As many of you know, WildEarth's mission is to connect the world to nature. That's all we want to do. We don't want to sort of start fights or arguments or anything on social media. We just want to show you the natural world as it is, as best as we all can. And if you'd like to help us do that, please do pop onto our website, wildearth.tv, and click donate. It's amazing what we see out here and what we can learn. And because we're live every single day, we can teach you about different things. And I've been learning all sorts of amazing things about plants that I want to dive deeper into this afternoon. But obviously we're sitting with hyenas right now, so we'll give them all the attention that they need right now. Where's Auntie and Tima gone?
Alright, I am still in search of these two leopards. I've just taken a look on Central Road. It looks like very fresh tracks on Central. In other words, it's a road that's just east of us. Now we're pointing into this drainage line behind the dam wall. I've got a feeling they might have ducked back into this drainage line. So I haven't seen anything else going further west, more here to the east of Gari Dam. So that's right, and you can just see exactly how thick it is. It's a lot of tambuti thickets here, a lot of little, I'm going to say, gullies, and it's quite a wide drainage line. So I think I might just move along this drainage line again and maybe go inside just now and just take a look if I can pick up on any other nice fresh tracks. Sometimes, like last night when I heard the leopards, when I was sitting outside my room and I heard the leopards mating, I was so tempted in getting into a vehicle and coming to sit with those leopards here at the dam for the entire night and make it a little bit easier for this morning, but that didn't happen. Next time. But I did take a walk around to the inflow of the dam. I looked at some of the areas there, but I didn't see too much. I've got some No, Mary, actually not. That's the thing, Mary, because they're vocal. First of all, and it's funny that they're not vocal now early in the morning during the day, because they should always, every 5 to 10 minutes, like last night, 5-10 minutes, they would copulate. I've seen, of course, and the leopards will be mating as well during the daytime, so I would have thought that we could have at least heard them mating here somewhere and get the exact location. And they don't move far. So when they're busy mating, they will pretty much be in one specific area, like this drainage line now, for the last 3 days. But yes, the thing is, they won't go into the open. They will just head back into this drainage line, into this tambuti thickets, and have their private time. But I also looked at the tracks. They were, for the females, small. Maybe, you never know. Maybe it could be Cara. I'm just throwing it out there. You never know. Never know. That's why I want to find these leopards, so we can find, and then we can know exactly who's been mating. I have to find them. I don't like about 5 days. Usually it's 5 days, an average of 5 days. what happens is on your first 2 days of mating, the first 2 days, it's not intense. The copulation is a little bit more subtle. She does go into heat, but she only really starts ovulating. In other words, she'll go in proper heat after the 3rd day, or on the 3rd day. So the first 2 days, very subtle mating, just to kind of start it off. And then the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th day, those are the 3 days when it becomes quite intense, because that's when she's ovulating, and then that's when she's enticing the male all the time and encouraging him to, of course, copulate with her. And that's why last night, if you actually heard last night, on dam cam, it was almost every 5 minutes. So it just shows, compared to the 2 previous days, the 2 previous days was very kind of on, and it was very, I can say, prolonged, extended between the copulations. But last night, to me, just like 5 minutes, you could just see it, boom, boom, boom. I wonder if they didn't hug this drainage line. There's like a little gully behind us here on the dam wall where we go through. I wonder if they turn around there and moved in to this drainage line. But I think Odie and myself will shortly just quickly jump into this drainage line on foot. Just want to take a look exactly here in the sandy area, if we can see any tracks aside. Well, we're going to continue our utmost best to locate these leopards. I think let's head over to Lauren, as she's still sitting with those hyenas.
There was one impala alarm call, but it was just one. And I think Ntima went off to investigate. She seemed quite curious regarding that. So we don't have any eyes on Ntima, but Jun's now annoying her mother. His mother. I don't know why I can't get used to the fact that Junebug is a boy. I really think your mom wants to sleep, Junebug. He just wants to be in and around the adults all the time. And it's such a lovely age. And of course, his future is very different from if he were a female. He will most likely leave the clan. He will most likely disperse. And that'll be good for him. He needs to go into a new clan, which will be tough, but at least he gets to meet new females. Whole new gene pool. But sadly, he'll come right in at the bottom. I don't quite know where he is in the clan right now, because I'm not sure about June, but he'll come in at the bottom. Mandy, so much mischief, I know. He's full of it. Like I said, June has her paws full. Especially since she's used to giving birth to girls. But he's got a long time to go before he disperses, of course. I'm just talking about his future. Leaves. How delicious. Oh, we're falling asleep on Mom. This morning could not get any cuter. And remember, immigrant males have an immense advantage over natal males. So that's why he will leave, to become an immigrant male. Nature has it all mapped out for the females to want to mate with immigrant males. And that again is to prevent inbreeding. It's nature's very own way of avoiding that. They've fallen asleep. Kelly, it's so cute. And no, he hasn't fallen quite asleep, but it is adorable. I love coming to the den in the morning more than I do in the afternoon. And just going back to the immigrant male, so although they will be at the bottom in terms of the male rank, he will get to do most, if not all, of the mating. So his future's looking bright.
Did you know that the WildEarth team makes weekly behind the safari content? Would you like to get to know the WildEarth family better? See how we live.
This is Igor's bedroom.
Learn about our production process. And see the antics that happen off camera. Sign up to be an explorer and you will get access to all this content and more.
Unforgettable adventure in the wild? Imagine living with the animals you see on TV while getting an inside look at how a live safari TV show operates. We're thrilled to offer this experience through our 7, 14 and 28-day EcoCam experiences. You'll live in the charming, rustic eco-training camp at Pridelands in the Greater Kruger National Park. Each day, you'll join the broadcast vehicle with a camera operator and naturalist presenter as they broadcast live onto WildEarth, the 24/7 wildlife television channel that reaches 7 million people a month. And the experience doesn't stop there. You'll also get a taste of what it's like to be a safari guide. Eco-training has been training Africa's leading safari guides for over 2 decades. You'll participate in guide training, bushwalks, bush clearing and other activities alongside students in the Eco-Training Safari Guide Group. You'll sleep out in the bush and take turns at guard duty with the guiding students. This is an adventure you'll never forget. Come and join us for the bush experience of a lifetime.
So we are continuing to drive because we are a little bit lost. So we had to turn around and go back towards the main road, but that's half the fun too. You know, just taking a road and seeing where it goes, and sometimes the road just ends. And that's okay. It's part of the excitement of getting to a new property and learning about a new property. But this whole block that we've been driving through is very open at this time, even though we know that during winter that's, you know, when the bush starts to get a lot thinner, because in summer everything's lush and green and thick, so it makes game viewing a little bit more difficult. So we would expect that in winter it's going to be thinner anyway, but this particular block is quite thin. I mean, you can see around here there's lots and lots of gaps compared to other blocks where it's very thick and there's lots of sickle bush. So even when it's dry, all these bushes are spiny and close together, so it means that you can't really see too well. It's just like a wall of grey and dry, but here it's much more open. And again, you know, we were talking about the different kind of the different environments, or different habitats rather, here at Madikwe. And it's little things like this too, not just changes in geology and soil type or specific vegetation or anything like that. Sorry, I got confused here for a moment. But it's also these areas where it's very bushy or very sparse. That's what I'm looking for. Lots of even micro little habitats. Anyway, I'm continuing to drive because I do want to get back to the main road. Otherwise, we'll be spending too much time in an area where it is very open, which means that there's not much happening. You can see it's not very green either. Whoop whoop! We made it. Well, that was an interesting journey. We drove a lot and went nowhere. Anyway, let me send you back over to Liam, who's found an elephant.
So a nice close encounter with a big elephant bull. He's fine. Hello, big guy. Yeah, not the easiest spot with us facing straight into the sun now that he's moved, but we'll see where he heads off to. Just a curious sort of 20-something-year-old bull. He meant us no real harm, but that was a little bit of a test. Coming past with his head held high, he wanted to see how we'd react. But cooler heads will prevail. Often dealing with elephants at relatively close quarters, that's the best policy. Hold your ground, speak smoothly, softly, calmly, and they realize that you mean them no harm. Most of the time. That's the theory anyway. quite a bit of air traffic overhead this morning. That's the sound you might be hearing. Also possibly a reason these ellies are not super approachable this morning. I guess fair enough. Yeah, I don't think we're going to off-road into the bush after this guy. Not going to poke the bear, so to speak. Mo, I've certainly had ellies touch the car on a number of occasions, touching, sort of the bull bar, the back seat, that sort of thing. But ideally we don't want to encourage elephants to touch the vehicle, touch guests, touch the tracker, that sort of thing. It can get quite dangerous giving an animal that is as powerful and as intelligent as the elephant the understanding that that sort of behavior is okay. Yeah, obviously once that boundary between them and us is broken, then you have elephants reaching into the car, pulling out people's handbags, pulling people's cameras off. And then it's not too much of a jump before somebody gets pulled out of a car themselves. So yeah, while I'm a huge fan of close encounters with ellies, I love seeing them right up close. We've got to still respect those natural boundaries. And always remember that even though they are an absolute favorite, they have the potential to do us enormous harm. It is a wonderful thought, though. I would love to feel a wild elephant's trunk, but no, we won't. Alrighty. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That guy is off on another mission. I think we'll do the same. Sorry, Control, would you mind just repeating that question? It came through as I started the engine. I didn't hear it. Sit. Got him. Keep going. Back. Damien, a fully grown elephant bull in the textbooks, sorry, we're just trying to position here, is probably anywhere between 5 and about 7 tons average. So pretty massive. Supposedly, though, on a fairly regular basis, bulls can even be in excess of 8 tons, 8,000 kgs, and they get enormous. The tallest of our bulls can be 12, 14 feet high at the shoulder. That makes them the heaviest mammal to walk anywhere on land. Huge things. But surprisingly, even with all of that bulk behind them, they're remarkably graceful, agile on their feet. Yeah, clumsy is not a word I'd use to describe ellies. And interesting, if you look at their foot structure, while sort of outwardly us looking at their feet, they look sort of big and flat and sort of like the ends of Roman pillars, but they actually stand on their tiptoes, which possibly explains why they are so sort of tidy on their feet. Yeah, it's worth Googling an X-ray of an elephant's foot to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, good spot by BK there. One last glimpse of this guy before he pushes off. That's great.
Stay up to date with the latest happenings at WildEarth. Discover what goes on behind the scenes and get a weekly recap of the best moments on the channel.
He's got it! And he's straight up a tree!
Sign up to be an explorer and receive our newsletter written just for you and sent straight to your inbox every week. WildEarth Explorers, a club for people who are passionate about nature.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
Superb. Yeah, again, not the clearest visual of this eddy, but as the case often is here on Pridelands, there are lots of pachyderms out there. So I'm sure we'll get an improved view of some ellies at some stage a bit later in the morning. This guy happily feeding away. That is essentially an elephant's full-time job. 18 hours a day spent feeding on vegetation. Thanks, Susan. Yeah, certainly we try and keep it a priority. Respect for the wildlife and the environment above all else.
Alright, so I found now the freshest tracks so far. They have come further south. Yeah, in the more whitey. Looks like both the male and the female leopard tracks came all the way south. And I'm just going to look very carefully in this area to see how far these two leopards have gone. The thing is, if the male's moving, the female is just going to follow him no matter what. She will just follow. So I'm just going very slowly here, just in case. And I'm trying to see if they didn't cross the drainage line and headed into an easterly direction on the eastern section. Yeah. I've got a feeling we are so close, we are so close, we are so close, we are so close. It'll be so nice. Imagine having mating leopards here in the riverbed. Oh my word, that would be brilliant. But let's just take a look here. So they crossed in there. I've got a feeling they're going to come, if they do come out, they'll come out this side here. I just don't want to miss any tracks on the road or in the sand itself. Come on, come on, come on. I just want to see, there's a little animal pathway here. Just want to make sure they didn't use this pathway. So sometimes you'll find there is something on here. Sorry, I just want to quickly stop here. I just want to jump out here. I just want to look. Because you can see here nice, these animal pathways going up this side. I see. I'm going to double check here. Alright, let's rather go further down, maybe towards Twin Dams. So I thought there might have been something. Just want to double check here. Sorry, Heidi. I just want to walk around here to this side because I did see a track there, but it didn't look like it was too fresh. I see rhino tracks. That's what I see. But old rhino tracks. Okay. Doesn't look like anything has gone further down this side. So you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss that one track. Alright, let's go. Let's go a little bit further up. So at least we know now they moved away from Gari Dam. That's the big thing. So now we know the direction and we can at least work in that area now. Trevor, yes, I have many a time, Trevor. I have tracked many a leopard on foot. Many a time. I think the leopard that I've tracked most on foot and been on foot with is a female called Tandi. She doesn't make it too easy, but yes. Nothing coming this side, Odie. I think let's go around back that way and go to where Lauren mud wallowed. I just want to take a look at that area again. It's very fresh tracks that side. Yeah, but sometimes it's always like many times of tracking a leopard and seeing them on foot and they're hiding somewhere. They don't even do anything, they won't snarl at you. As long as you pretend that you haven't taken notice of that leopard, and they think they are, they are kind of hiding away from you, and you haven't seen them, then they don't do anything. But yeah, as soon as they think that, okay, well, you've taken notice of me. Oh, birds, yeah. And then of course they'll tend to run off most times. 99% of the time they run off. And nothing here. There's nothing in the riverbed. Nothing on this road. Tracks are in front there. Going in here. In here. So 50, me too, trust me, it's like I am As I say, curiosity killed the cat, and this one is definitely, I'm so curious on this situation and to see exactly who is this female. I'm sure it's more whitey, of course. It won't be, I'm sure it's more whitey, but the female, females will go out of their own territory just to follow a male, just to follow. As long as she can copulate. Alright, I might jump off here and just quickly have a little bit of a walk inside here. But I'll wait to see if we can do that. Alright. Let's just stop here. So now we're back on the western side of the Mawati. Alright, so I'm just going to jump off here quickly. Just want to see if I can find any fresh tracks coming directly this way. Because they were coming up this road and they went straight into this drainage line. And with tracking, I always feel like when you're doing tracking, if you're looking for tracks and you're not too sure of the track and you want to get a nice clear visual, make sure that the sun is in front of you. Go down, because the sun will cast a beautiful shadow over that track, and then at least you can see the track much clearer and you can really work that out.
Chatting around a fire is an ancient practice that has connected humanity for centuries, and we want to keep it alive in our modern age. As an explorer, you'll have access to intimate gatherings with our naturalists, fascinating guests, and experts where we share knowledge, insights, and stories around a crackling fire. Rediscover the power of connection. Sign up to be an explorer today and experience the magic of WildEarth's Fireside Chats.
I'm hoping that we find out who the female leopard is soon. No mystery should go unsolved in the bush. I think this is night number 3, or is it 4, that we've actually been hearing those leopards. It's been going on quite some time, possibly night number 3. And yet we've been driving that area, going in the drainage lines, the points that we can go in, taking the little secret shortcuts. Rolf, I believe so. They have much shorter lifespans than humans, and I believe they can mate all their life. The male will always react to a female in estrus, even when they're old. I'm thinking of Tingana. If a female is in estrus, that's signaling to him that she's ready to mate, and he will always react as accordingly. Of course, they don't go through problems like human males may do when they get older, and I believe the females can come into estrus right until the end. Possibly if they were in captivity and they lived a much longer life, maybe then the estrus would start to wane. But out here in the wild, they still do come into estrus, even towards the very end of their life. And as long as they're in estrus, then they'll mate. They'll find a male who can mate with them. The male will not be fussy. And as long as they're in estrus, then they can get pregnant. So in answer to your question, yes, they can mate all their life. It's just really blowing my mind. The other day we had some technical difficulties, so I was not live, but I took all the secret 2 tracks that I know in that area. That drainage line is really extensive, but we used to drive it a lot, following all sorts of leopards and lions. And there are pathways, once you know them. I went past the old hyena den on Mvubu. That's a nice shortcut that takes you into that drainage. I went everywhere. No signs, no scat, no tracks, no vocalizations. And then at night time we can hear them. We can hear them from our bedroom. But during the day, nothing. And yes, I do know leopards are nocturnal, but normally a mating bout goes on 24 hours. Hyena tracks, what a surprise. How surprising. Tammy, yep, she confuses paternity just the same as lions. She will mate with many different males given the opportunity. It's far more beneficial to her reproductive success and the success of her offspring, of course. Now, just everyone, I forgot to mention, we do have Cameron on camera. He's our interviewee. That's his thumb. You may not have seen it before because it's brand new, but he is now on camera. But don't worry, I didn't get rid of Kat. He is still on board. I didn't leave him at the hyena den. Ah, there we go. I should have left him at the hyena den, no? That might have been quite fun. But anyway, we are looking at these Inyala here. 2 males. There are a lot of Inyala around right now. Hello. You're far from a camp. Inyala are notorious for becoming camp animals. Once they get a taste of that camp life, my goodness, they don't leave. Our table at camp sits under a tin roof. And that's obviously where we sit and eat our breakfast, lunch and dinner. But in the real hot summer months, you'll find the male Inyalas coming in and sitting pretty much at that table because it's in the shade and just chilling out, watching us walk up and down as if we are the ones that shouldn't be there. Often really good vegetation in camps because not many animals get in. So therefore it's not already been browsed, it's not already been grazed. So camp life is really cool. If you're in Inyala, it's really where you want to be. But clearly not these guys. These guys want to be out in the wild. And I didn't see Inyala in Madikwe, so it's really refreshing to come back and see them again. But as we bumble in the east, we're going to send you guys back over to Liam.
Superb. Well, the bumble continues for ourselves here in Pridelands as well. Morning missions into the east now. It is top of the hour. It's 8 a.m. Here in Pridelands, outside the town of Hoedspruit in South Africa's northeasternmost corner. Yeah, once again, my name is Liam Burrow. I'm the naturalist here in the driver's seat. BK Uhuru, the man behind the lens. We would love to remind you that we like to keep these drives as interactive as possible. So please keep your questions coming throughout the show. If you haven't already, head to our website and register. That's a nice direct way of getting your questions across. Doesn't cost you anything. Otherwise, follow us on YouTube, or obviously use the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter. Now, it's a little bit of a sleepy morning on Pridelands. Admittedly, quite a lot of elephant activity and a bit of general game here or there. It doesn't seem like much predator activity this morning, though, as of yet. As we were sort of settling down to have our dinner last night, we heard a couple of enormous roars from a male lion. Douglas, I think that varies a bit. Occasionally we have these days where all of the sightings are sort of very concentrated, all kind of in one area, and we can sort of do 5 or 10 kilometers, that is, in sort of an afternoon. And then sometimes we have the opposite extreme, where we possibly do maybe 25, 30 k's in an afternoon, with sightings in sort of far corners. The Pridelands property, though, is not all that massive. I think it's roughly the size of Djuma, perhaps a little tiny bit smaller. Well, the property here is actually a bit bigger than that, but in terms of the aerial that we've actually got a signal for broadcasting on, that's relatively small. But yeah, fortunately for us, it tends to be quite a hot spot. There tends to be lots of life in that pocket. Boris, the most abundant antelope here, other than the impala, I would say probably something like the kudu. We don't see tons and tons of kudu, but yeah, after the impala, that's probably got to be it. Now, we are just on the road that leads up to Leopard Dam, one of the biggest and most sort of central points of water access here on Pridelands. Always worth having a bit of a scratch around, especially with things so dry at the moment, near points of permanent water. Water is life in Africa. The theory being that everything has to drink, and everything that lives in the area or has a territory in the area will end up at Leopard Dam at some stage. Eddie, the busiest dam in Pridelands is probably Ndlovu Dam, to be honest with you. Ndlovu Dam being the one right at our camp. Throughout the day it is completely flooded with things like elephants. At this time of year it's got 4 or 5 resident Cape Buffalo bulls, bachelor bulls. Yeah, and we see giraffe, antelope, monkeys, birds sort of coming through there throughout the day. I think if memory serves, our signal occasionally dips on this this particular road, so just bear with us. Hopefully it doesn't. Cool. Well, as we continue to mission towards Leopard Dam, let's check in with fellow naturalist Cedric at Djuma, find out how his search for those mating leopards is going.
Alright, so we still got these tracks. The last one's still coming in towards the Mulwati. We're at the Wigs. If you know the Wigs, also is a spotted eagle owl nesting site that's just here. So we are just going slowly. I'm just worried about the signal, but well, so far so good. So I'm going to head this side. I'm going to head straight to Twin Dams. If not Twin Dams, I might have crossed somewhere else and I did not see the tracks. To Mamba Road, Mamba Loop. In other words, it's just to the east. That's roads that's just to the east of us. Yeah, they're giving us now a bit of a run here. I was hoping that they were going to slow down a little bit, you know, in their movements because they are mating. So, well, so far it doesn't seem like that's the case. But it's fine. It's fine. We shall prevail. Got the feeling. It's always a good thing to try these drainage lines, especially on a day like this now. It's going to be quite a hot day. For them it's perfect, hanging around a drainage line, nice cool air down here, nice cool sand. So I was hoping that we are going to get lucky here somewhere. Somewhere. But let's just look. We'll be very slow. Slowly does it. Unfortunately, sometimes you just got to have patience in tracking animals. You just got to have patience. And that's a perseverance. I feel like you need to continue with it. Don't give up. Franny, that's exactly my, like I'm looking, I feel like every corner I'm going around now is that I'm going to bump into them somewhere. That's why I'm going so slow here, looking up every single tree, behind every single bush. Well, we can't get every single bush, but we try and see what we can pick up on this side. Yeah, it'll be nice. Franny, I'm really, my heart is pounding at the moment because I want to find these leopards. I really do. I really want to get them. But it's fun, as I say. Perseverance. Put your mind at it. Take a look at all signs. And well, I'm throwing all my experience out here now to see if we can see any other signs of them. There's some Egyptian geese that's flying past there. Yeah. Alright, looks like we've got a problem with the tree here, overhanging, so I'll have to try and push away because of our aerial. Yeah, see, I think a little bit earlier they might have gone over into Milwaukee and across to the eastern back. That's my next option, is to head into that direction. But we're going to first look at Twin Dams to see at the dam here. I'll look around the dam area, maybe stop for a bit, listen out, maybe pick up on. We might be lucky with a malachite kingfisher as well. Very possible. Let me try go out the side, Owen. Sorry, there's like an overhanging tree here, and we've got an aerial that we have to try and maneuver around this branch. Alright, there it is. Got it right. How nice is that? Rusty has been good right through, huh? Ha! On the Milwaukee. Well done, boy. Well done. I think that's why on dam cam last night we lost the audio of the leopards mating, because they left that area and they came south. So that's why I think after a while you didn't hear anything else. Alright, we're coming up now towards Treehouse Dam. Twin Dams. Gwen, you still there? Ah, there you are. Mindy, I think we all do. I think we all want these leopards to come out, wherever they are. That's fine. We're all just going to go stop here at Twin Dams for a little bit. Best thing to do, sit here and listen out once again. Yesterday I had a question about Temba. Temba was, of course, Kashava's young, Kashava's cub, one of Kashava's cubs. And they asked us where last did we see them. Oh, we got elephants. Oh, hello. We saw him here last. It was at Twin Dams. Oh, how nice. You want to go around, eh? Let's go around. Sorry, I just want to get out of low range. Let's go, yeah. Look at that. Hello. Oh, look at a little one. So we've just got some elephants that we have just located here at Twin Dams.
Attention all nature enthusiasts and budding safari rangers. Get ready for an epic showdown in the wild. From July 30th to August 1st, witness our skilled rangers competing head-to-head, racing to identify the most animal species. Only one will be crowned king or queen of the ranger race. Don't miss your chance to be part of this thrilling adventure. Jump on board and join the race.
Heart is pumping right now.
sitting nicely on the dam wall, and now we can get to view the whole herd busy having their early morning drink. And I think the elephants know as well that today is going to be quite a warm day, about 30 degrees Celsius today, so I think they are preparing themselves, making sure they are hydrated. Look at the little one right at the end. I always like the little ones when you always have to use their trunks, and oh, he's shy. He's shy. Doesn't want to show face. What a beautiful setting.
Something remarkable is happening here, everyone. Look at that beautiful knobthorn that is flowering. It is not spring. It is winter. And these flowers have a very short flowering season, and it is at the end of the dry season, at the start of spring. And look at that. Isn't it beautiful? But abnormal. I think it's a month or two early. And I'm just seeing these knobthorn flowers everywhere, which is probably why we're having giraffes around, as they are the firm favourites of giraffe. And its diet actually comprises 40% knobthorn. And of course they're a mammal pollinator, which is quite unique because it's normally the birds, the bees and the bats. Bats are mammals, but it's unusual because it's a large pollinator. But here we have one. So I thought I'd let you see the detail of this knobthorn flower here. It's actually really stunning. Gorgeous colour of yellow, like lemon yellow or creamy yellow. And giraffes just adore them. They can visit so many different knobthorns per day, travelling kilometres just to get these flowers. So they love them, but they are actually pollinating at the same time. They don't know they're doing it, but they're pollinating. 45% of all knobthorn pollination is done by giraffes. That's almost half. But according to my lovely camops, it tastes delicious. So everyone, I've never tasted one before, but I am going to do it right now. I believe you just pick the little flowers off and don't actually eat the stick. It's beautiful, it's beautiful. It smells like a perfume. I really like perfume, okay.
Let's do it.
I mean, it's edible. Owen told me it's delicious. I don't think I would go that far. It's dry. But survival. If you're out here in the wild, maybe you will need to eat this. So in the past few days, I've wallowed in mud, I've drank water from the Mowati, and now I'm eating knobthorn flowers. It's okay. Would you like some? Chat's going to have his breakfast. I don't know how to describe it, but look at that colour. It's standing out. It feels like spring. It's warm now. We've had rain, a lot of rain in winter. There are a lot of insects around, and my goodness, it just all feels really abnormal right now. It doesn't feel like how it should. And of course, when the giraffes eat them, they get pollen all over their heads. And then when they go to the next tree, they deposit that pollen. Hello, pollination. And although it would seem costly that the giraffe are eating all the knobthorn flowers, that does seem costly to the tree. The trees actually produce sterile flowers. That's remarkable. Knobthorns produce sterile flowers. And what that does is dilute the amount of reproductive ones. So the giraffes are not eating all the reproductive ones. And also to combat that, the flowering season is really short. So therefore, the giraffes can't get round all the knobthorn flowers. So the knobthorns have got it sorted. Sometimes you'll even look at a tree, not this one, and the giraffes have had so much impact on the flowers that it actually starts to take an hourglass shape, if you like. But this is just not normal. It's way too early for the knobthorns to flower, and here it's happening. How was your breakfast, Kat? Delish.
Very good.
Oh, good. He's now drinking his coffee as well. He must have thoroughly enjoyed that. Tessa, yes, it wasn't a bad taste. It was a nice taste, but it's definitely not something I would want to chew on all the time. It's quite a really heavy perfume scent. It smells wonderful, but the taste, not so much. I'll need to speak to Mr. Owen about that, because definitely wouldn't rank them as delicious. But this is just unbelievable that the knobthorns are flowering. So I just wanted to share that with you all. But for now, back over to Cedric with his Ellies.
Chase Egyptian geese. Nice, Lauren. Looks like you've already had your breakfast. Well, we're still here at Twin Dams, and as you can see, big mommy. She's leading the herd away from the dam itself. Looks like the youngster still wants to have something, still going to take a chance. And there's Egyptian geese in the... No, is he? So what is it? A guinea fowl. Sometimes you'll find those youngsters will chase those guinea fowls around, have a little bit of playtime, but looks like they are more focused on moving away from the dam and heading off to go and have a meal somewhere. But she's a big female, beautiful girl. Kim, they can't be too fussy. At the end of the day, you'll find elephants, because they have to feed on so much vegetation per day. They'll pretty much go for grasses, any kind of leaves, or most kind of leaves. But there is certain kinds. There is more palatable leaves than others, of course. Ones that's got less tannin in it. Then you get something like your silver cluster leaf. Your round leaf teak, they've got loads of tannin inside of the leaves, so it's very bitter. But on top of that, you'll find elephants eating on the roots, cambion layers, grasses. They won't have too much of a specific diet. If you're looking at something like a hippopotamus, they are very grass specific. In other words, they only really select certain grasses to graze on. But when it comes to elephants, well, if you have to put 5% of your body weight of food into your body, at the end of the day, 5% for a big female of 4 tons, what's that, about 150 kgs of vegetation per day? That's a lot. It's a lot of vegetation, a lot of food. That one is having a nice drink from Mom. Oh, it's over. You can see she's standing right in front. Must be the matriarch. You can see sometimes putting the trunk on the ground as well. So you're put the trunk on the ground like that. There you go. And then what she's doing now, she's just feeling the communication or like vibration from other herds. And sometimes, because their trunks are so sensitive, just like underneath their feet, and they can feel like other elephants rumbling in a distance, and then she can at least work out on what's happening around her. I think what they might do, they might just go and feed along the drainage line, along the Mulwati. And that little one is so cute. Catch up.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
The beauty and wonder of the African bush, but don't have months available for an extensive learning program? Look no further than Eco Training's 7 or 14-day EcoQuest course. Designed for those who yearn for a taste of the wild, this immersive program will give you an in-depth understanding of the African bush in as little as 7 days. You'll be guided by expert trainers who will lead you through the various ecosystems of Africa and teach you essential bush skills. Over the course of the program, you'll learn about animal behavior, tracking, and identification, as well as the intricacies of conservation and African cultures. With the guidance of your trainers, you'll have the opportunity to witness wild animals up close and personal in their natural habitats. You'll also have the opportunity to make new friends and create lasting connections with people from all over the world who share your passion for the wild. This course is the perfect way to gain a deep understanding of the African bush, even if you have limited time. Join Eco Training's 7 or 14-day EcoQuest course. Further your journey as a true bush enthusiast today.
We've moved quite a bit since you last saw us, and we were watching this really large herd of impala moving through on this side now. I just heard a snort, and this is interesting because this is also an area where the cheetah, the female with 3 cubs, likes to hang out. So there's a couple things that I'm looking for here. One, I don't know if the cheetah is here. Let's just make that number one point. But I know that she likes to hang out in this area, which is close to the airstrip. And another guide told us that someone reported seeing her briefly sometime during the morning in this area. But we're also seeing a whole lot of impala, and for the most part they were looking relaxed before I said to you that I heard a short snort there. And we do have a bit of a breeze. So I would imagine that the impala would be able to smell her if she was, up and possibly actively hunting. But I reckon at this time she's probably having a bit of a snooze. I'm just paying attention to figure out if I can hear any other snorts, because the snort was also coinciding with a bit of movement from the impala and some of the movement from the ram. So it could have just been something happening between the males. But we're taking it easy here. Driving through slowly, stopping often to listen. Hi Ben, you'd like to know if cheetah prey on impala? They certainly do in areas where they exist together, coexist. Definitely prey on impala. Cheetah will take anything that they can, just like in predator. They're opportunistic. So as long as it's meat and they can catch it, that's all that really matters. The difference comes in their ability to defend their kill. So they're and they don't have the skills to hoist kills. So they've got to be able to make their kills and be able to defend it. And that's where the problem comes in. So they usually will go for prey that's small enough for them to eat a bit before a scavenger comes along. Of course, they can stash their prey, hide it, things like that, which they do. But, dragging it under the bush, hyenas are still going to sniff it out. Not just hyenas, many predators, if not all, will also scavenge. I'd like to move down the road a little bit. It's very quiet now, which I like. This allows me to hear much better. The impala is still around. So also the thing is, I don't know if she was seen moving from this side to that side to this side. So we're just gonna have to, just see if we get lucky. Definitely got my eyes peeled. Another vehicle coming up behind me. We'll just stop and have a look at these impala again. Whenever it comes to this kind of thing, patience pays off. And usually if you're just still, you pick up a lot more clues than you do if you're constantly moving. So I'm just going to move across to the side here. Also remember, please send through your questions and your comments. We love to hear from all of you. You can do that by heading over to our website and registering. Just going to park off here because there's another vehicle that needs to pass. There we go. I think everybody looks fairly relaxed now. What I heard was definitely an internal squabble as opposed to being a smell of a predator or something like that. But we must also keep in mind, just because animals are behaving in a relaxed way doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't a predator around, because a predator can still be around and the prey not notice it, because that's how predators get their kills, right? So we should always remember that and keep our eyes peeled, even if it feels like maybe we're not going to see a predator. And sometimes we get a feeling as well. Like there's sometimes where it feels like we're right on the cusp of finding something. I feel like that's how Cedric is feeling today with following his mating leopards. Trying to figure out who they are, where they are. I guarantee you, through this morning he's felt this way. He's like just at the cusp of finding it. And then he would have also felt at certain times like, this is not right. And I guess that's kind of an instinctual thing as a guide. But as my favorite literary character says, instinct is just the knowledge that you don't know you have yet. Right. They're moving into the bush now. Actually, I'm just going to sit tight a little more because if the cheetah is around, maybe she's a little bit further in. Now that they're moving in, maybe we'll get some clues. Sorry, I just saw something. Ah, never mind, it's an impala. Far from the herd. Oh, Mandy, that's a good question because I did notice something. Mandy wants to know if there's any difference between the impala that we see here at Madikwe and that we see in Djuma. And I'm glad you asked, Mandy, because it's something that I like to do when we go to different reserves, is try to look at the same species and any little differences, subtleties that make them more suited to an environment or maybe just the result of being in a different environment, not exactly more suited to. And I found that some of the impala rams here, their horns are really wide, like a lot wider than I've seen in Djuma. And I'd say even a little taller, but definitely width is very noticeable. So I've just popped my game drive radio on again because there's a vehicle in front of us that stopped. Just want to make here in case he sees something on that side. And there's a certain time of the day where the temperature kind of reaches this critical, I guess, amount where it feels less likely to find predators. And we're kind of hitting that at the moment. This feeling, it actually feels like a nap feeling, if that makes sense. When it gets a little warm and things feel a little bit heavier, you don't have that same kind of oomph. It feels like the bush is having a nap. And it's at around about this time. Anyway, let's keep on moving. Okay, off we go. I'm going to send you back over to Lauren. She's on a bit of a bumble and hopefully we'll get lucky with some cheetahs.
We are just bumbling on this beautiful morning, taking my first layer off. It's really warm, it's really lovely. I have a funny feeling Cedric and I are going to drive ourselves crazy with these leopards. I'm in the area. It's amazing. We used to walk in those drainage lines. That's where we used to conduct bushwalks. Sometimes we even used to start the bushwalk from our bedroom. Sometimes we even filmed our bedrooms and then we would go deep into the drainage. That's how we know this drainage line so extensively, because we used to walk them. That's the best way to learn a property, not just by looking at a map and driving the roads and then maybe learning the 2 tracks. No, it's to walk. Walk the property and then you will really learn where the animals go. I do miss bushwalks. I used to love them. I loved them so much. They were hard work, but it really challenged you. I found it a challenge on bushwalk. I hope bushwalks come back one day, I really do. It also gives you a really good chance to look at the little things, especially in summer. All the insects would be out and about. You didn't really ever have to leave quarantine. Valerie, it's very similar to lions. The female will come into estrus and she will change her behavior, and she needs to seek a male, and therefore once she finds a male, her behavior will be very different. He will pick up on the scent immediately that she's in estrus, and she will sort of behave in such a manner physically to show that she's receptive. And they do something called lordosis, where they sort of present their rump to the male, saying, I'm receptive, I'm ready, I want to mate. And of course the male knows exactly what that means. And once she's with that male, she'll stick by him for quite a few days, especially if she's out with her own territory, because he's going to protect her in that regard. So it's just almost the same as lions. It is the same as lions. And then of course once she's finished mating, she'll roll onto her back. And then they'll rest for a little while, and before you know it, they're back onto it again. It'd be just good if we could pick up on some vocalizations. That would immediately give you a direction, but sadly, that is not happening.
Do you love relaxing at a waterhole with the sights and sounds of Africa all around you? Well, we have some really exciting news for you. From August 1st, Africam is joining forces with WildEarth to bring the majesty of Africa right into your living room, with 9 incredible new waterhole cameras from across South Africa and Kenya. Get ready to embark on a new journey. This is Live at the Waterhole.
That is the most assertive gosling I think I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. It seems to be the one gosling in particular. I've actually not seen that before, where one keeps going after another species. It's actually incredibly sweet to watch. Such a young age and already so assertive.
Okay, so still here on, still tracking for these leopards. I'm now on the Mamba Loop, coming back to where we had the last tracks. Nothing has come towards Twin Dams. Nothing. Ooh, hello. Alright, so what I thought could have happened, they might have crossed Waiti towards Mamba Road, towards Mamba Loop, but no tracks at all this side. So I'm going back again, 2 more Waiti. Go just take a look around that side, maybe go up Batalia. There is that little pan on Batalia Road, and I just want to go and pop my nose in there. It is one of those mornings, but it's fine, you know, I don't mind. I find sometimes, you know, if you do track and you're successful all the time, and it's like, oh yeah, I got another one, you know. But if you're not successful all the time and all of a sudden your success rate is like 30-40% tracking the animal and being successful in finding that animal, it just that accomplishment for me is just so much greater. So you can imagine now, if I have to find those leopards now, I'll be doing the most amazing, craziest dances ever in celebration. See, because that's can't wait, but it's not the end of the world if we don't find them now, because those moments will happen. But always so. Well, apologies from the WildEarth team for losing Cedric back there. We seem to have had a bit of a signal issue, as has been the theme today. But we are still sat here with our Ellies in beautiful warm morning light. What a pleasure. I don't know, you may have lost us. Suddenly things went very quiet. But hopefully not. Yeah, these Ellies look like they're steadily mobile down towards the HQ waterhole. Again, we're not 100% sure if we're going to be able to follow them there, with signal historically not being great around that corner. But we shall see. Big old matriarch just coming out of the shade there. Martin, at this stage, it's probably about 50-50, I'd say. Possibly leaning slightly more towards bulls. The cows are kind of forced into slightly more riverine areas at this time of the year. Often having to provide, obviously, high quantities of
or large quantities of highly rich milk for their calves, that places an enormous demand on their bodies. So yeah, these dry, sort of scrubby environments are often better suited to bulls. Their needs are a bit simpler. But in the same breath, we are still seeing lots of breeding herds at the moment. In Ndlovu Dam, close to our camp, was a hive of elephant activity yesterday during the day. And even looking at this group, there's a number of calves, 4 or 5, tiny wee youngsters. Danny, well, I would think Ellie's could get quite an awful lot of info from sniffing the dung of other elephants. There will be info in there about the age, the health of that individual, its reproductive condition, its social status. Certainly it is a way that a large bull will use to sort of track down an estrus cow, a female that's in heat. Coupled with their ability to communicate over fairly vast distances using ultrasound. Yeah, these ellies will find each other when they need each other. There's also some evidence to suggest that they can recognize, an individual elephant can recognize the calls, so the individual sounds made by up to 100 other individuals. Essentially like you or I are recognizing 100 or so different people by their voices. Quite a feat and a testament to their incredible memories.
Hi, my name is Claire. WildEarth has been part of this home for many years as it connects us to the bush and the culture that we love and miss so much. I became an explorer so that other people around the world can get to experience the African bush in this unique way as well. I am beyond excited that I was drawn to win the prize at Amakhala Game Reserve for 3 nights. It is truly a dream come true.
Sign up today and you could be the one experiencing it for yourself.
Impala are taking the show here at Madikwe today. I think they look very nice against the red sand. And they are in excellent condition. Now, I can see the zebra that we spotted in the middle of the herd, but I can see it just black and white through a dense bit of bush. So hopefully it'll come out and then we can get a good view of it, because I wanted to tell you about a zebra that I met yesterday. But before I do all of that, if this is, or you're just joining us right now, welcome. You're a little bit late, but that's okay. Better late than never. You are sitting in Madikwe Game Reserve with me, Trishala, and you're watching some impala. Oh, love it. It rhymes. But we've also got Cedric and Lauren out in Djuma, and Liam out in Pridelands. Liam's been spending some time with the elephants, and then Lauren had a nice time at the den in the morning, but now she's helping Cedric look for some mating leopards that are driving him crazy, because he's been looking for them right from the get-go. We've been enjoying the impala. We did see one elephant, but it was quite thick. Couldn't really show it to you, but I was hoping we'd see some elephants today. But impalas have taken the show. Hi, Tracy. You're right, impala do always look clean and healthy. The only time there's an exception to that is during the rut, when impala rams don't take care of it themselves as much. Look at this, so numerous. Beautiful. You can hear the wind has picked up too, and the zebra I wanted to tell you about. Ooh, let me pop that off. It's my Game Drive radio. The zebra is still not showing itself. Fine, I'll tell you about my zebra from yesterday anyway. So yesterday, we met a zebra that was the darkest zebra I'd ever met. The black stripes were much thicker than usual. And usually when we see zebra, it looks pretty even. And we know that technically zebras are black with white stripes because the skin is black. But when we look at a zebra, visually just looking at the fur, it kind of looks like white with black stripes. Maybe that's just a human perception thing. But anyway, this zebra that I met yesterday, which I will now name Vader, looked, as in fur-wise, not technically wise, looked black with white stripes. And then just above the legs, so like around the shoulder area, you know, there's a triangle of a triangle shape where the lines come together, which I was hoping I'd be able to show you on the zebra that is around here. But anyway, that little triangle where the stripes come together, just on the shoulder, or just above the leg, that was black. Wonderful. So if I see it again, it was a hilly. If I see him again, where we don't usually get to see zebra genitals, so because it's internal, but we were very lucky with Vader to see him in all his glory. Anyway, I'll let you know, but for now let me send you back over to Lauren in Djuma.
We have the zebra, the herd that have just made quarantine their home. I love it. I love it so much. And the token wildebeest, let's not forget, who thinks he's a zebra now. He doesn't want to be an impala anymore. Being a wildebeest is not good enough, so he's now a zebra. And talking of recognizing individuals, just like elephants recognizing each other calls, that's crucial for individuals to be able to recognize each other. Now, different species will have different needs for recognizing individuals, but the hooded warblers, tiny little birds that actually weigh less than half an ounce, have unbelievable navigational skills. They actually survive their annual migration between, I'm sure it's the eastern US to Central America. And they return to the exact same patch of forest. Not just the same area, the same patch every single year. And when they arrive there, they actually establish their area and establish their residence through song and border patrol. They're territorial. Just like leopards are territorial, so are these birds. And what was discovered is remarkable, that the males of the hooded warblers actually recognize their neighbours from year to year. So males are tolerated in this area as long as the neighbour recognises who's around their territory. So how they found this out was actually by playing calls using a loudspeaker. I don't know if that's very ethical, but they did. And if they moved the loudspeaker to different patches or to different areas, the males completely freaked out. They completely freaked out and behaved so differently. And the example that was given was like if we were to open our door and discover that a new neighbour is suddenly living next door to you. A whole new family's there, which was different from the family that was there the day before. You would think, what? So these birds recognise every single call from every one of their neighbours in the surrounding patches year after year. Isn't that remarkable? And if it's a different neighbour, they freak out because they assume it's a new bird coming into their territory. So they will only tolerate the males that they know that are bordering their territory. Unbelievable. Even fish, it's not just mammals, it's not just elephants who are said to sort of be the most intelligent. No, even fish. Fish are tetrachromatic. We are trichromatic. And they can see colours and rays and wavelengths differently from us. And some fish are actually able to see patterns on other fish's face that is only visible in the UV light spectrum. So we can't see it. But we don't recognise it's there. And a great example is the damselfish. So the ambon damsel and the lemon damsel look identical to the human eye, but they are completely separate species. So the ambons are very territorial and they defend their territory really aggressively. Fish can be aggressive. But how do they know it's not another ambon or a lemon? They look the same, right? So why are they aggressive to lemons? Not lemons, sorry, but they're aggressive to other ambons because they're defending their territory. Well, actually, they don't look the same. When you put them under UV light, the ambons' faces are completely different from the lemons. They have completely different markings, and it's striking. But we just can't see that. And that is recognition skills, and recognition skills are key in the animal kingdom. No matter what species you are going to have some form of recognition from who could possibly be your enemy. And then you can even go deeper with that. There's kin recognition. A lot of animals show remarkable examples of recognizing kin. Brian, yes, truly amazing. Truly amazing because it's so different from us. It wows us, it blows us away because it forces us to think outside our box. You know, we thought those two fish, the ambon and the lemon, were identical, so they were confused. How does the fish know who to be aggressive against, who to be sort of mark its territory against? These fish are identical, but actually they're not. They're not at all. We just can't see it. But the fish, they can. And then you get a tiny little bird that travels thousands of kilometers, after 8 months, still recognizes its neighbors. Ah, mind-blowing.
How much do you know about what it takes to become a safari guide? How much do you know about being a game ranger? In celebration of World Ranger Day, we are hosting a fireside chat. Come along for some interesting discussions with our naturalists and special guests. From game drives to bushwalks and everything in between, we're unpacking how to become a safari guide. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Well, our little herd of elephants has made their way down to the HQ waterhole. They've had a nice drink here at the water's edge. And with relief, our signal has held on. Yeah, it's been a wonderful, wonderful morning here in Pridelands. Isn't that just sublime? So I don't think they're going to hang around for too much longer. This matriarch looked like she wanted to get on the move again. She's just letting a couple of these calves finish up. Good granny. But very soon I think they're going to be on their way. Again, that's probably the big reason that elephant viewing is so good here on Pridelands through the dry season. The fact that we do have water available all over. Yeah, this big girl definitely wants to get going. Still a couple of calves having a few last sips there. They probably won't get the chance to drink again for the rest of the day. It's time to head up into the hills and go and feed. Though they'll probably find somewhere to quench their thirst again at around sunset. Maybe we'll even see them around in Ndlovu Dam. We had some really interesting interaction just now. This little breeding herd bumped into 3 bachelor bulls. Sam, no. No, not really, hey? So that matriarch position is kind of earned based on rank. So the oldest, most experienced female in the group will take the reins. She becomes the leader. And everybody else just seems to respect that. Again, it's a society all built around experience, around knowledge. And they seem to take great pride in sharing their knowledge. It's part of elephant culture today. Some stroppy young bulls here. Again, most of these sort of pushing and shoving battles are just for fun. But on occasion, these bulls get quite carried away and they can actually chip tusks and even snap them off completely. But most of it is fairly harmless. Hey, cheeky bull. Lots of elephant attitude right there. Head up, ears out. A strong case of short man syndrome. Esther, that's a really nice question. Thanks for that. So the average adult male African elephant is probably drinking somewhere in the region of about 300 liters of water a day. And that is a whole lot. It's a pretty phenomenal feat. If you think that the average human is probably not even getting 4 or 5 liters of water. Ultimately, their digestive process, feeding on vast amounts of vegetation, I think needs a lot of water to process that roughage. Yeah, they've got pretty phenomenal abilities with that trunk. It's able to pull in an outrageous 3 liters per second. Under pressure, 30 times greater than a human sneeze, which boggles the mind a little bit. So they tend not to drink for long. Vinny, so there is obviously water available here at the dam, but being an area, she's going to come right past us. How nice is that? Hello, big lady. Being an area of quite large wildlife concentration, the vegetation around the water is not so great. So in order to find enough food, they must leave the water. Hello, youngsters. Nice cheeky young bull. He means us no real harm, but he is trying to intimidate us. Hey, be nice. At around 15 or 16 years of age, he's full of testosterone. So always trying to push the boundaries. Oh, that's a superb encounter. We haven't sort of blocked this path for these ellies. We've given them ample space on both sides of the Land Rover. And they're treating us with the same respect. These guys just taking the opportunity to sniff, to check us out. Ultimately, ellies are very, very curious animals. They learn much like we do by experiencing. Proper boisterous though. Hey, cheeky bull, how's it going? They are precious, Waikisha. We've got a huge responsibility to protect them and to protect the places in which they live. as they sort of continue on away from the waterhole here, I think we're going to leave them on their morning missions and start to make our way back to our own camp for a bit of a drink and some breakfast ourselves.
We love all the support. We read all the comments, and now we want to acknowledge our biggest fans. Do you know when Ribbon was seen last? Or the names of June's cubs? Do you remember the last time we were up close and personal with an elephant? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you are in for a treat. WildEarth's Fan of the Month. We are looking for you. For more details, make sure to read our monthly mailer and keep an eye out on our social media pages. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Alright, now we're coming up to the big clearing here, just close to our camp area. Just want to drive down here very slowly just to see if we are lucky. We had the wildebeest this morning and one male busy revving his vehicle. Home. Home. So I don't know where he is. Sounded like he was on the open clearing here somewhere this morning. But he always hangs around with those impalas, so I'm sure if we find the impalas, we'll find him. And it's becoming nice and warm now. I've still got my fleece on, I don't know why, but I think I'll have to take my fleece off very, very soon. Yep.
What a drive it has been this morning. Very diverse all round, great discussions. Exactly how it should be. Now, we didn't find those mating leopards. I know Cedric tried really hard this morning, but it's interesting behaviour. It is believed to be Mowati. I don't know if he was quite ID'd on the damn cam or not, but he's just not leaving this drainage line. And it's funny because maybe about 4 or 5 days now, there was a leopard seen walking past the lodge. And I tried to locate, the monkeys were alarming, but no avail. And I think that's when he first went into that drainage there. It's walkable, but not entirely drivable, which is a bit disappointing. But we'll keep trying. I'll give it a go this afternoon. Even if we don't see them mating, it would be really good to know who that female is. Is it Kalamba? Is it someone like Kara? I guess we really don't know. And it's also quite ironic because every time we go to our bedroom, we hear them. Gee, I don't think they're playing with us. I think they are just very, very focused on what they are doing. I think they are very busy right now. And oh, we've got a water buck as well coming to join the party. Fancy that. Wildebeest, zebra, impala and water buck. Amazing. So yes, I think they're just very occupied. Priorities. They've just chosen a location, of course, for privacy that it's just not entirely accessible. But it's winter. Some of those shortcuts that we used to take should still be available. I'll do my best this morning, but I don't, this afternoon, my goodness. I don't want to get stuck. But what beautiful scenes to finish on, really. Having all these animals around Gowrie Dam. They seem totally relaxed. They're not worried about any leopards, that's for sure. Yvonne, you're so welcome. You learned so much this morning. That's great news. That's what we're here to do. Even if we don't find the animals that we want to find, at least we can teach you something. And it's turned into the most pleasant morning as well. And with each day that passes by, hopefully we're going to get to see Intima's little ones. That's very much on my bucket list for my stint. But you guys already knew that. These animals are close to the dam cam, so they may even feature on a dam cam today, and that is a perfect tool to look out for the leopards that are mating. Maybe Cedric or I might not find them, but the dam cam might. Fingers crossed for this afternoon. I really want to solve this mystery. I hate it when mysteries go unsolved. But on that note, everyone, we have come to the end of the sunrise bumble. The sun is up and really breakfast will be ready for us. And I think it's fair to say the team will be hungry. I know they will be. I'm the only girl on the team. But I do just want to say a big thank you all to for your comments and questions and just jumping on board with us. It is always a pleasure to have you, and please do join us this afternoon. Until then, bye for now.
Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to Live at the Waterhole, where